Welcome to 100 Yards of Football today. Today we have an NFL game preview. It's a Monday night affair, and it's a battle of teams that haven't liked each other for a long time. The Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Dallas Cowboys. My Dallas Cowboys, who I grew up and loved and liking them ever since 1966 at the age of 6 years old. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. And helping me break down this very, very Monday night affair, I'm going to call a battle, a war, is my man. And I want to say this. You have a lot of platforms out there that talk a lot of football. And, man, I be watching ESPN, I be watching Fox, and I be thinking to myself, the guys that have on there breaking down the games are young. But I could tell you this. To the audience of 100 Yards of Football, I'm very blessed to have these young men in front of me. Mm-hmm. Number one, a lot of people don't know this. It's old school. He started what we see Florida State at, and it's become. He started it with that 79 team as an All-American cornerback. And he played 12 years. Think about this. He played 12 years for the same franchise, the Atlanta Falcons. First-round draft pick in the 1981 draft. That's not happening these days. I'm sorry. You're not getting nobody that's playing 12 years in the league. But most of all, I will put him up against anybody on ESPN, Fox, anybody knowing this game inside out, because I've been around him for a year and a half and he knows football. So I'm very blessed. Let me bring him up. He always say the 1981 NFL draft is the greatest in NFL draft history. But I tend to disagree with him on certain things. My man from South Florida, by way of Delray Beach, Mr. Bobby Butler. How you doing this morning, sir?
Man, Vincent, I'm great, man. It's football season, and they say this is the first day of fall. We are here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's get to it, man. The Philadelphia Eagles playing the Dallas Cowboys. Break down the game, and what do you see happening on Monday night?
Well, Monday night under the lights. It don't get more exciting than Monday night under the lights, Vincent. You know, Monday night is the marquee game of the week every week. You know, it's the only game being played. And Dallas is playing their first home game this season, the third game of the year. Let's talk a little bit about the Cowboys last week, just a little bit. Now, that was a thrilling victory they had against the Chargers. You know, like I said, this will be their first home game of the season. You know, they're hoping to make it 2 wins in a row. Now, the Cowboys had success last week because they had a real balanced attack. Now, you and I have been, we know the Cowboy, we know Cowboy football, you and I. And we always had this formula, Vincent. If we don't run number 21, you know, we're in for trouble. You know, Dak can throw for 500 yards in a game, and we still can lose the game. We got to have a running game. And this past weekend, they were really balanced. They rushed for right under 200 yards in the game. You know, Dak had a good game. If we can continue to do that, I think Dallas Nation will be happy, right? And so it's going to all come down to that. Our defense last week pretty much got it together. Even though we missing a couple key pass rushers, Vincent, you know, they played well. We had 2 sacks last week. We had 2 interceptions last week. So it's coming together. But we can't play lopsided football if we're going to continue this. Because what we do know, we do play in the NFC East, which is a tough division to play in. And this week against the Eagles, you know, they don't like each other. They don't like each other, and it's going to be tough, you know, because Philly is playing pretty decent football. And they got some young talent coming up in the ranks. I think Jalen Hurts is doing a good job on the center, right? They got the Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama. You know, they look good. Defensively, they look good. Now, they're 1-1 as well. They beat the Falcons the first week in Atlanta. And they lost to a good 49ers team. 49ers going to make some noise, by the way, this year. And they lost to a good 49ers team, 17-11. But I think Jalen Hurts is going to shock and surprise a lot of people in the National Football League. Because I'm going to be honest with you, nobody gives him credit for anything yet. But when it's all said and done, he's going to be a proven player. This is going to be a game, you said it earlier, a war. It's going to be a war. Both teams are talented, young talent, great talent on both sides of the ball. It's going to come down to who wanted the baddest. And, in this division, the last 2 years, Vincent, I'm going to be honest with you. And I know you tired because you're a Cowboy fan. I'm tired, man. Because every time at this point of the season, every year, we got the Cowboys going all the way winning it all. Every year. And we've been disappointed for a long time. And by the way, I want y'all to know I am a Cowboy fan. Been a Cowboy fan since I was a little boy. Right? And so I wish them well. Now, when I was playing, I wasn't wishing them all that much. And I played some of my best games against the Cowboys because I wanted to show out because that was my team. Right? But we want to see the Dallas Cowboys do well. And, this is America's team. I don't care all you haters out there who don't believe that. They are America's team. And we do good in this country when we do well with the Dallas Cowboys. And so we want to see them. We want to see them win, and we want to see them get back to the status that we know that they are capable of being in. So that being said, it's going to be a dogfight this weekend. I'm not going to give it to them. I see a lot of people got them winning by large margins. I can't say that. I'm going to say the Cowboys will win this game, but I'm going to say this is going to be a close game, 31-24, Cowboys.
When I think about the Cowboys and I think about this Eagle game back, Bobby, it comes to me back in the days when the Cowboys, remember that year they went 1-15, how the Eagles used to punish up when Troy Aikman was a rookie quarterback, and they had Seth Joyner, Brian Thomas at the linebacker position, and just how they used to punish Troy Aikman. And then the whole series. Then I'm going to go back to one game that broke my heart. I want to say the 81 or maybe the 80 playoff game when they lost to the Eagles, when the Cowboys had Tony Dorsett, Danny White, Tony Hill, a very talented football team. They ended up losing to Ron Jaworski and Wilbert Montgomery.
1980.
My heart.
1980, Vincent.
Yes, sir, 1980. But the thing when I look at this football game, and Bobby, don't get mad at me this morning. we on good terms, but I'm starting with our Cowboys.
We're on good terms right now.
Dak Prescott got 640 yards passing. Tony Pollard from the 901 has 123 yards rushing. Ezekiel Elliott has 104 yards. Amari Cooper has 23 receptions on the year. CeeDee Lamb might be one of the top 5 receivers in the game.
Right.
Okay, in Tampa Bay, we put up a lot of points. And then last week against San Diego, when I was watching that football game, and then I went back and watched, didn't it seem to you that we supposed to put up more points in that game?
Oh, absolutely.
And then you mentioned the defensive side of the ball. We played well, but to me, Bob, we still got problems on the interior. We cannot stop the run consistently. The secondary is coming on. I will say this. We got 6 turnovers in 2 games, and that's all about Dan Quinn.
Hey, yeah.
But, Bobby, you played the game at a high level. Real seriously. You know the defense has got to step it up. And when you play the good teams like the Tampa Bays, the Kansas Cities, from an offensive standpoint, we're there. But from a defensive standpoint, I still think we got a long way to go. I don't think we have that, what I call that lock the door, that dog corner, that corner that can make things happen like you did when you was at Florida State in Atlanta. Trayvon Diggs was coming on, but everybody else is still struggling.
Right.
Now for the Eagles, they came in here to Atlanta, and they beat up, I want to say, I'm not a real talented Falcons team. In respect to you, Bobby, because you played for the organization 30-6. But really, my question with the Eagles, they're going to have some injuries on the defensive side of the ball. I believe Brandon Graham is out. They got some other key parts out. But to me, Jalen Hurts is the biggest question to me.
Okay.
He had a quarterback rating of 80 last week. In the game against the 49ers, he left some plays out there that he didn't make in the passing game. Quez Watkins had over 158 yards receiving, but he had I want to say, let me back up. Yeah, he had 117 yards on 2 catches, a young man out of Southern Miss.
Right.
But he took like a little a little route pass and went like 90 yards.
Right.
But to me, for the Eagles to really do well against Dallas on Monday night, it's all about Jalen Hurts. I still have questions him being successful in the passing game. Kenny Gainwell out of the 9-on-1. Memphis starting to get some love now. He played a pretty good game against the Falcons. Been decent this year. Devontae Smith, to me, is a guy that's ready to go to that next level. But look at the situation. Bobby, look at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow did have 3 interceptions against Chicago last week. But him, who's I said, the best receiver in there, Jamar Chase, and had chemistry the first 2 weeks. Jamar Chase has had 2 big-time long yard touchdown catches. But I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. Can he make the plays like that in the passing game? And especially how our boy from Boomer Sooner, Kyler Murray, put on the show against Minnesota.
Right.
So when I look at this game, I look at it as, from the Cowboys' perspective, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. I put everybody on the line, stop their run game, make him beat me in the passing game. But that being said, Dallas is not strong on the back end. And to me, for this game to really go well, I like matchups, man. And that's why I'm glad I'm doing this with you today. We got Darius Slay, a Georgia boy out there in Camden County by way of Mississippi State. We got Steven Nelson out of Warren Robins on the other side.
That's right.
And they going against, I still think, the best receiving core in the game. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and now, Bobby, let me throw another 9-on-1. I know I threw 3 players, but we can play football down in Memphis too. Don't get it mixed up too. Even though they talk about Penny Hardaway in the basketball, they go, we can play football too. Cedric Wilson Jr., who his father played with the Steelers and played with Tennessee.
That's right.
To me, that's going to be the matchup. Or whether or not the Eagles are going to slow the Cowboys down. And then, of course, the battle in the line of scrimmage, Tyron Smith going up against Fletcher Cox, Zach Martin going up against a young man that's playing real well out of South Carolina State, Javon Hargrave. So I want to ask you, what was it like, man, when you knew that you was going to play against the best receiving core? Let's say Jerry Rice and John Taylor back in the day. Take everybody out there in the audience. What was your feeling and your mindset going up against a receiving core that you know was at an elite level?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because the relationship we had, the Falcons and the 49ers back in those days, because we played in the NFC West with the Rams, the Saints, and with the 49ers, right? We hated the 49ers. One thing I can tell you, all the success that they had in the 80s, they never wanted to play the Falcons because they were going to have an injury problem after the game. Guys were not going to play the next week. And so if you're a contender, you're concerned about that. So we didn't like each other. And I'm telling you, I want to kill Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Dwight Clark. I just want to take them out. I'll be honest with you. And y'all forgive me because you got to understand, I played football in a different generation, different time. And so we did everything we could so they wouldn't play the following week. And so I'm telling you, if you look back at our games, guys were laying out on the field, carted off all the time, right? So I look at the Cowboys and the Eagles. You have a similar relationship. They don't like each other. So it's just like when you play a rivalry team, Florida State, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Auburn. It don't matter, right? Who's the better team? Who's got the lesser? They're going to get ready to play, and they're going to play hard. And so you can't really count nobody out in this game, right? I know Dallas, when you look at Dallas offense, man, good God, I don't know if any team in the history of the game has ever had skill position players like this, right? But at the end of the day, it ain't about that. It ain't about what's on paper. You got to go and perform it. You got to go perform it. And so it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out game, Vincent, on Monday night. That's all I got to say. Those guys are going to play hard, and it's not going to be, when we look at it, we're not going to be able to say, well, the Cowboy receiver group just dogged them out like they were supposed to. It's not going to be like that. Those guys are going to come to play, and they're going to play hard, right? And so that's what we're looking for anyway. We want to see a great matchup. We want to see a great game, and we're going to get it Monday night.
Final words, man. Who you picking on Monday night and why?
Well, I'm picking the Cowboys to win, and I'm picking the Cowboys because, just like you say, they just loaded, right? They loaded, and you have to expect for them to win. You really have to expect for them to win. But if they don't win, Vincent, I'm not going to be surprised because, like I say, this is an interdivision game. Jalen Hurts. This is what I like about a guy like Jalen Hurts. He's got everything to prove to the world. And he's got the ability to do special things in the league, right? So I look for him to have a great game this Monday night coming. And I can't wait to see it, man. It's probably going to be the best game of the week.
Final words here on 100 Yards Football. This is a tribute to Dak Prescott out of Mississippi State, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and to Jalen Hurts, a product of the University of Alabama, Oklahoma Sooners, and the Philadelphia Eagles. This young man, Mr. Bobby Butler, knows where I'm finna go with this with my final words. See, there was a band that came out of Dayton, Ohio in 1977. And they had a lead singer by the name of Stevie Arrington, one of the greatest musicians of all time, hands down. When he went solo, he had a song called Dancing in the Keys of Life. I wake up in the morning thinking of you, getting out of the bed, and I put on my dancing shoes. One of those gentlemen going to put on their dancing shoes for the national audience on Monday night.
That's right.
So if you like the video today, please come in and share. Joining me is the talented, always a royalty and a blessing to have this young man, 12-year veteran, Atlanta Falcons, Florida State finest, first-round pick in the 1981 draft. I'm still going to argue with him all day that the 83 draft was better. My man, Mr. Bobby Butler. I'm Vincent Turner. I want to give special thanks and kudos to our producer who made this thing happen today, Mr. Logan Landers. Y'all be blessed and enjoy the Monday night game of the week, the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles.